Hello, all of you ladies and gerbils. I am Bradley Overrated, and today we are reviewing the indie title Runner 3. And I've got to tell you, at first when I played this game, I wasn't that into it. I wasn't certain if I was going to get my money's worth, or the gameplay just felt a little weird. It wasn't as smooth as I was expecting. The backgrounds were kind of... everything about it was just a little off-putting, but by the end of it, I can safely say that I loved this game. It was so much fun and so hair-pullingly frustrating at times. So let's jump into it. Let's give this beautiful review for Runner 3. And as you can tell by the screen and by the sounds that you're hearing, this game is very unique. It is a rhythm platformer. Every single obstacle that you face in the game is usually tied to the beat of the song that you're listening to. And that includes kicking those barricades down, jumping, collecting the collectibles like the gold bars that you see on the screen. Everything is timed actually really well to the rhythm. At first I thought it didn't flow as that well, but then I realized it was just me doing stupid stuff and not being very good at the game because I was a noob at the time. Let me say right now, I'm no longer a noob. Proud to say I've been able to beat some of the extreme levels, and Runner 3, after the first world, hooked me in because I finally got a grasp of the controls, and I gotta tell you, man, it is addicting to play this game. And what makes the game so addicting is the level design. Each level, while similar at heart, has a lot of different unique challenges for you. There are enemies to avoid, barricades to kick, jumps to accomplish, collectibles to achieve, and there's always a score that you can always try to strive for to get a better score of. It's always frustrating when you get bonked like I just did, but thankfully there are checkpoints in the middle of each stage which allows you to continue from where you progressed, which can be very life-saving at times because some of the levels in this game are hard, especially the extreme levels, the bonus challenge missions. Those ones are just a chore to pass. Now the regular stages on the main campaign, they're not that difficult if you're just trying to pass them. If you don't care about the collectibles, they're not too bad. You'll usually be able to get it, I would say, within a few tries. But if you're like me and you're trying to collect every single diamond or sticker or gold bar that the level has to offer and do it all in just one try, the difficulty spikes. And speaking of collectibles, Runner 3 has a lot of them. There are gems to collect, stickers to collect, videos to collect, cosmetics to unlock, retro stages and bonus stages to unlock, gold bars to snag up. The game is just filled with things for you to do and has so much content in terms of collectibles. I mean, holy crap. And then, like I said, it's not easy. Some of these stages, getting a perfect 100 gold bars, you might be playing it 10 or 15 times over and over again just because you can't time one section well enough. That's the challenge, and that's the fun of Runner 3. It's trying not just to beat the levels, it's trying to master the levels. Now, as much fun as I had playing Runner 3 and pulling my hair out at certain moments, there are definitely some negatives to this game. For starters, the campaign is overwhelmingly short. There are only 3 worlds in the entire campaign. You can get the retro stages to unlock and the impossible stages to go for, but if you just want to do the campaign, you can beat this game in under 5 hours easy. And that normally wouldn't be a big deal for an indie title, but a game like Runner 3 costs $30. $30 for a 5-hour campaign? You're gonna get all of that $30 worth only if you care to collect every single thing this game has to offer. That's the only way to pad out the runtime in this game, because the campaign is so short. And not only is the campaign really short, the boss fights that you get at the end of each world are very disappointing. And the game does actually feature a story as command of video. There's a nice little narration thing at the beginning that I kind of thought was a little bit annoying when I first played the game. And after that, the story basically becomes non-existent and it's completely forgettable. Which is kind of disappointing because I don't necessarily need like the craziest story from this game, but a little bit more effort I felt like could have been put into the story. And then last but not least, I should mention that the end of each world is in fact a boss fight, and the boss fights are underwhelming to say the least. You'll see it, I'll bring up one of the boss fights at the end of this video, and I've got to tell you, I wanted more. For how challenging the game can be, the boss fights never really felt that challenging, especially the first three. The final boss fight that you get at the end of the game was what I was kind of expecting the first boss fight to be like, and I felt like it should have been like, because a lot of these boss fights had the simple 3 hits, here's a checkpoint, 3 more hits, another checkpoint, and the problem with that was it kind of destroyed the challenge. Every time I got a checkpoint in the middle of a boss fight, I wasn't able to go for my perfect run essentially, and that's kind of disappointing. I didn't have any control over that. And like in this case here on the screen, this boss fight doesn't really have much to do with running. The game's called Runner 3 for crying out loud. I want to be running on a boss fight, and thankfully the other 3 I am doing just that, but this one in particular, it was just kind of stupid. And that's not to say that the bosses conceptually were terrible. I mean, Sausage Santa sounds awesome. Are you kidding me? And he's like, sausage, sausage. I friggin' love that. It's just the fight itself was just like, okay, here you go. Move to the left or to the right, jump up and down, make sure you hit him with his own sausage. Where's the running? And that was the problem with the boss fights. They could have been so much more because they had such great ideas for bosses, they just couldn't hit the home run that I was hoping it would hit. Alright, all that being said, let's give Runner 3 a score. Now, if it was personally up to me, I would give it a really high score because I love the game. I love the core gameplay, the platforming sections, and trying to collect all the collectibles and make those perfect runs. Mwah! It is a stroke of art, baby. It is so much fun. I couldn't be happier. But there were so many other things to consider in the game, such as the boss fights and the really high price you have to pay just to play the game right now, that unfortunately, Runner 3 ends up getting a B-. And while I personally hate giving it that score because I really enjoyed the game a lot more than a B-, I have to give it that because while my overrated reviews are totally overrated, they are still honest reviews as if I was a pretend critic. And when you take in consideration the very almost non-existent and mediocre story, the disappointing boss fights, the $30 price tag for a game that you can beat in 5 hours in a really short campaign, while all of the platforming and doing those challenging levels and the collectibles is excellent, there's a lot of other things that kind of bog the game down. Having said that, I still highly recommend you give this game a shot when it comes on sale. I do think a $20 price tag, that is worth easily. It's a no-brainer purchase if it's $20 ever on sale. Alright guys, that concludes my review. Thank you so much for watching. I am Bradley, Overrated. And be sure to leave that like if you like my reviews. Be sure to leave a dislike if you hate my reviews. I don't know why. I love dislikes. I'm kind of weird like that. And if you have a request for a game that you would like me to review, be sure to let me know down below. And I'll see you guys on the next video that I do. Have a great day.